Hi, I'm Chief Rich Wallace, the Amberley Village Police Department. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for coming tonight, as well as anybody else that watches this video. I just want to take a few minutes to explain where we are in the police department and different functions we do on behalf of our community. The first thing I like to talk about is the upcoming police levy. The upcoming police levy gives the police department an opportunity to maintain our staffing levels where we currently are. It allows us to maintain our equipment, such as replacing of police cruisers and other equipment that we officers carry on a daily basis. And third, most importantly, it allows us the opportunity to continue to maintain a high level of training. Our departments go over and above to make sure our training is second to none. We look at our department as being an elite department in Hamilton County, and we hope to maintain that level.
I think many police departments across the country can look at Amberley Village and learn from their example on how to treat their communities. And again, it's not that the other police departments are doing anything wrong, it's just the sensitivity that is shown by Amberley Village is so much above and beyond what is expected in a good way.
I really feel that the relationship we have with Amberley is so crucial. We are a part of a small community, and we really have gotten to know each of the officers, and they really have a presence here and have developed a relationship both with our staff as well as with the members that come to visit our facility.
And I would add, we're the JCC is a part of a national organization, and I've been on visits with other JCCs, and never have I heard of any other community that I've talked to that has the kind of in-depth and positive relationship with their local police force. It's really, they are jealous of it when I describe it to what we have.
The next thing I talk about is community involvement. What does your police department do to get involved in the community? Well, the first thing we do is each year we have an ice cream social, and that ice cream socials continue to expand over the years, and it gives us an opportunity to display the equipment we have, as well as have officers there to meet and greet with the residents, which I think knowing an officer on a personal level, or us knowing the residents on a personal level, actually makes our relationship stronger. The next thing we do is we do a bike safety event. It's usually in late April, early May. And what we do with this bike safety event is we invite all kids to come and bring their bikes, or we'll have bikes there to ride on. We raffle off a couple bikes to kids. We have a drawing, but we also give free bike helmets out with our partnership through Children's Hospital. I think we focus on keeping the kids safe and doing what we feel is right. The last thing, we work with residents would call and have a local birthday party. They would call and ask if we could drive by with a police car or fire truck. And we can't always be there, but we have done that on occasion. But we think it's important that if we're out there and if we see something going on and you want an officer to stop by, we don't mind stopping by, because I think it's important. Lastly, we've had officers volunteer to assist with the MVK program, Most Valuable Kids in Cincinnati, to where they actually go out and provide items to inner city kids that don't have the abilities to do that. And we've had not just officers, but multiple people, village employees step up and just volunteer time and offer to help. And that says a lot about what kind of employees we have here at Amberley.
When the pandemic hit, I run a nonprofit agency called Most Valuable Kids, and we send underserved kids in Greater Cincinnati to live sports and cultural events. And when the pandemic hit, we were really scrambling, trying to figure out what we can do for the kids, how we can get resources to them, from school supplies that they can do at home while they are learning virtually, to just an experience, just to get them out of the house and see that people care about them. And Chief Wallace jumped to the occasion to help, as always, and he and his amazing team at the Amberley Village Police Department helped us create a drive-through experience, which was incredible. It was featured on the news. They were here broadcasting live because nobody was getting together, and we were able to bring mascots from all the teams, our partners from Freestore Food Bank, the Cincinnati Reds, the Bengals, FC Cincinnati, all here in Amberley Village, where the kids were able to come, drive through, get supplies they need.
Hello, I'm Stacy Lefton, and I'm a resident here in Amberley Village, and I'm one of the few residents that gets the lucky honor of not only using the police force to help protect my neighborhood and my home, but I also get to work with them. I consider myself very lucky to work with them because they're willing to help out with a very small task as well as a very big, important task. For instance, one time my husband and I were trying to get into our we had a lock on our fence that was there put on by the previous owner. We didn't have a key for it. And Andrea, the canine officer, came over with bolt cutters and cut the lock off so that we could get into our fence. Without her, we wouldn't have, we were having a hard time getting into that. And when I would go back to my office and tell my coworkers how the police officer came to help us with a lock, they were like, why would you call the police officer? And I'm like, I live in Amberley Village. The police will come to help you with something as minor as getting a lock off of your fence or as serious as someone just broke into my house.
We typically don't carry outside on the Sabbath. And in order to be able to carry on the Sabbath, we have to put up a boundary, basically, which technically would then create a public space into a private space. It would turn a public space into a private space. So if I put a fence up in my backyard, even though my backyard belongs to me, it's considered a public space because it's outside. But if I put up a fence, it shows that that's a private domain, and then I can carry in that private domain, in my private domain. And so on a larger scale, they do that around Amberley Village, and so that people can carry on the Sabbath in Amberley Village. And they use telephone poles with the wires, and that's what creates that private domain. And we had an accident once. It was a Friday afternoon on Ridge and Galbraith, and a pole was taken out. And typically on Thursday evening or early Friday morning is when somebody goes and checks the entire perimeter to make sure that all the poles are up, all the wires are up, because if one of those come down, it then transitions back to a public domain. And so the chief called Friday afternoon, and he said, hey, we had an accident on this corner. I don't know if this is one of the poles, but you may want to send somebody out to check it and make sure that this is still a private domain so that you can carry, because he realized that if nobody knew about it and they were carrying on the Sabbath, they'd be in violation of that law. And he did not want that to happen. So
my experience as being a resident of Amberley Village has been really a good relationship with the police. Anytime that I've ever needed them, whether it was my alarm going off or there was an issue at the home, they were there in a very timely manner. I felt as if I need them, they're there.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Brian Bloom with the Amberley Village Police Department. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about how important training is to us as a community, our officers, our dispatchers, and our firemen. It's the support of our community that allows us to train our officers in areas that go above and beyond that 24 hours of minimum mandatory required by the state, whether that be firearms, building searches, driving, domestic violence. We like to train our officers on things such as diversity, dealing with people that have different religious beliefs, maybe mental health issues. When you come into contact with that person, you don't know what that person is experiencing on that day. We want our officers to be in that moment, realize, hey, this person's having a bad day. How can I de-escalate the situation? How can I help this person have a better day and have a good resolve to this situation today? That's important to us, that we want our officers to treat the person they're having contact with how they would like to be treated or how they would like their family member to be treated. That's what we're here about in Amberley Village.
So I'd like to talk next is what the police department has done to be good stewards of the village's money, your money. Well, most importantly is we started restructuring. And then on a monthly basis, the supervisors go through and we do evaluations of everything that we do and operate. The next thing we've done is grants. We do grant writing on a regular basis. It's just part of our daily routine now to maintain, our equipment levels and things that we need. But lastly, we've done collaboration with other departments regarding purchase of equipment or maybe training. But the collaboration is give us an opportunity to, excel our department.
Amberley Village was extremely innovative when they came up with the vacation checks on the homes. If you go out on vacation, you can let the police department know, and they'll come and check on your home while you're gone. They'll pick up your mail. They'll take in the newspapers that are left on your driveway. You can have packages delivered to Amberley Village. You could do your eBay or Craigslist exchanges in the Amberley Village parking lot, where there's plenty of video cameras and you're being watched. The alarms systems that they have set up here that go straight to the Amberley Village Police Department, where we have our own dispatching, which is pretty unique as well. Many communities and many other communities do a lot of these services, but Amberley Village has been doing it for many years and is all encompassing.
What I do not take for granted is how comfortable I feel reaching out to the Amberley Village Police Department if I need anything. Whether my door is blowing open and my alarm's going off and I can't get home to close it and I know everything's fine but that the dogs might get out, to having a package delivered while I'm out of town and not wanting it to sit on the front doorstep. Those are just really small things, but they mean so much to know that we can call and rely on our team to not only help but to do it with a smile on their faces is just really extra special over the top.
Amberley Village seems to be accepting of a diverse community. I live in a community where the diversity is accepted, and also it makes for a great community. I think that the diversity that I can see now that's represented even in the police department is a great thing, because then you have all the different people that are able to be accepting of our differences and willing to come together as one. One time there was a situation where my alarm went off and I wasn't aware that it had gone off. And the police, they came immediately to my house. My mom was sitting on the back patio and there were two police officers. One came from one side of the house and the other came to the other side. And she looked around and she was wondering, like, what's going on? Another great experience where she was not startled because they made her feel very comfortable, just explained to her that they received an alarm and they just wanted to come and check on things and everything was fine. When I came out to interact with the two officers, they were great. They explained what happened, and I had an opportunity to meet one of the new officers on the force. And it's always, like I said, it's been a great experience just living in Amberley and having such a great, professional, friendly police department. And all of my interactions have been just stellar. I would not change where I live for anything. I enjoy Amberley. What I really love about living in Amberley Village also is that the police chief, Richie Wallace, is available. He's accessible. He's visible. Being in the city of Cincinnati, I usually, you would interact or see a police officer the police chief if you're at an event, or maybe in the media. But in Amberley, I see someone that if you need them, they're available, you can reach them. And that gives you a level of comfort, because at least you feel as if that he's in an arm's reach, so to speak. So that's one of the things I really appreciated, being able to have that relationship with Chief Wallace.